Hello, my name is Mark Goshwitz. Welcome to our first ever episode of Shoreline Music Monthly News. Just kind of a short segment where we're going to take a little look at a local event that maybe needs a little more awareness of it. I'm hopeful that most of you folks are hip to our weekend guide that we put out on our socials and website that give you that week-to-week idea of what's going on in the area. This is going to just be a little wider look at one of the events that we always end up putting on that list, but you're going to find out a little more about it and a little sooner. I'm quite happy to have in the station with me today, I've got Pete Govert from the East Haddam Land Trust. He's going to talk to us a little bit about, well, hopefully a little bit about the Land Trust, but also they put on a wonderful show to raise money for the trust every year called Musical Bridges. So welcome, Pete.
Well, thank you very much. Number one, I'm grateful for you to invite me down here.
Our pleasure.
And I'm happy to be able to share Musical Bridges and the East Haddam Land Trust story with folks who listen. I'll start off with the musical story, and then we'll go into the Land Trust story. I had been chatting with Mark, because I got here early, about the genesis of Musical Bridges, so I'll recap that quickly. When I first moved to East Haddam from living overseas with my wife for many years, I needed a way to meet musicians and have some fun. So I approached our park and rec and broached the idea of holding something called a community music circle, which would be once a month, and then I would be a musical facilitator, and we would bring anybody who wanted to play any instrument together and play music for a couple hours. The only stipulation was that the songs we were going to play were 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 chords, but you had to be able to teach the person the song in 30 seconds. So if Mark showed up at the community music circle, I'd have my guitar in my hand. I'd say, okay, Mark, Jim, Marianne, we're going to do Fire on the Mountain by the Grateful Dead. It's B and A. Here's the strum pattern. Who wants to do a lead? Mark, Marianne, okay, ready, go. So I did that for about 15 years, and people started showing up just to listen to the music, which was a surprise to me, but it was a happy surprise.
Music brings a crowd.
Music brings a crowd, and somebody said, wow, you know, this sounds pretty good. Why don't you take this group of people and bring it to my business in town, and we'll do it Saturday nights, and we'll charge people $5, and then that money that we gather will be taken and given to the East Haddam Fuel Bank. So I checked in with people who played at this community music circle. We all thought, that's a good idea. Good cause. So we transitioned it to a Susan Salon. It was a hair salon in town. And for about 5 years, we held time and space on Saturday nights, once a month. And all sorts of musicians would come. The word spread.
It's a rockin' hair salon.
Yeah, it was a rockin' hair salon, yeah. And sometimes we'd have 12 people crammed into the back room there. And it worked because we had this list of songs of 2, 3, sometimes 4 chords that we all agreed on that we would limit ourselves to. So nobody ever tried to get us to play Bohemian Rhapsody like we were talking about, because it would take me a long time, if ever, to teach a group of people Bohemian Rhapsody. So anyways, it worked out really well. So then I had the idea that what if we were to take this concept and try and do something a little bit bigger, because people who come seem to like the quality of the music, even though sometimes it would go off the rails because you're improvising. And I broached the idea to musicians in town, and we ended up coming together with this Musical Bridges idea. And what we did is that we assembled about 30 musicians. Wow, there's a percussionist. And we had a captain or 2 for each pickup band, because I said it's like a pickup basketball team, but it'll be a pickup band. And they'll have a curated list of songs, but you're not going to know what the songs are until you're on stage with your instrument. And that the captain will say, now we're going to play Franklin's Tower, and the chords are these 3. It's a vamp between A and D, basically. Who wants to do a lead? And then we'll just make music in the moment. And it worked out really well. There was some apprehension on the part of the musicians, because you're a jammer, but you also know that, you know, if you go into it with good intentions, 80% of the time you're going to create some kind of musical magic, and that would happen. So after the first Musical Bridges, people would come up to me and say, where'd you find those 3 bands? And I would say, those bands never existed except for tonight. And they would say, that can't be true. And I would say, yes, they had never practiced those songs. They had never played together.
Music is magic.
And it was like the music played the band, is the analogy. It's like the music played the band. I was like, what? I said, yes. If you got the right song, you could teach it to people within 30 seconds. And then if they're in the jam mindset, they'll just build this wave together and they'll all surf it. And so it worked really well for about 5 years. And then COVID happened.
So what year did what was the first musical Bridges? Remember the year?
Let's see, 2020 was COVID, so it was probably like 2015-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. And what happened is that people would start bringing friends to play unbeknownst to me. I tried to keep some idea of who was playing. And then Mark and I were chatting.
One of them.
And it's like now as I was talking about it, oh yeah, Cosmos did bring a harmonica player, and it was Mark. It's like, yeah. And that would happen. We had a guy show up from Norwich who was this incredible conga player. We had congas there. It's like, what's your name? He introduced himself, and he was fabulous. And that's the kind of magic that would happen. So we did that, and then COVID happened, and then it got really difficult to try and coordinate 30 musicians when we didn't know if it was going to happen because of COVID. So then
COVID changed a lot.
Yeah, and then so my jam band, the Bluesberry Jam Band, agreed to do this fundraiser, but then have a bunch of these guys who had participated in the pickup band kind of jump on stage with us. And so this year, like the last 4 years or so, it's been the Bluesberry Jam Band's been the anchor, and then friends of ours from Local Honey or the Locomotives or No Mind will come up. You can come up this year now that we've reacquainted, and we'll have you jump on stage and do a song. So it's a community jam. So Musical Bridges is a community jam, basically. And we raise money for the East Haddam Land Trust.
Oh, very
and I'll
nice.
stop there and let you talk because I've been, my guitar solo went on long enough.
Well, sometimes, it's getting a guest that wants to talk is fine. So why don't we let everybody know the details of this year's event?
Yep.
So they can find it if they're not already hip to it.
So all the details will be on our website. So if you get what I'm saying, just if you were to search for East Haddam Land Trust, it'll be there. But the details this year are it's August 25th, which is a Monday night. It starts at 6 p.m., goes till 8:30. ESO brings out his barbecue kit from the Gelston House, so he donates all the food for a barbecue. We have a local-made, local-grown raffle that's also there and is becoming very popular. And the venue is the lawn of the Goodspeed Opera House. So
It's a gorgeous place
which
to see
is
music.
absolutely stunning. Yeah. So from a musician's point of view, you're on the stage. You got the tent. You're looking at the Goodspeed Opera House facing north, and on the left you've got the Connecticut River is right there, and then over here on the east you've got the Gelston House. So it's a beautiful venue, and we're the last music at the end of the East Haddam Park and Rec Music on the River series, which is every Monday.
Which is a wonderful series as well,
Yeah.
which always we publicize that on Shoreline Music Monthly as well, because they bring in some more regional and national acts, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, we had Amy Helm there. You had
Yes.
seen her, and she was terrific.
She is.
We were shocked that she was able to come to East
That
Haddam.
was the best.
Yeah.
So now we're running out of time a little bit, but that benefits the East Haddam Land Trust. So I grabbed a quick look at your site, and my wife Wendy and we like to hike a lot, and I was a little surprised that there was most of them I hadn't even heard of. So how many, I mean, I hate to put you on the spot, do you know off the top of your head, how many properties you have, or maybe tell us about your favorite?
Sure. So we have been growing dramatically in the last few years. We're up to about 1,000 acres. We have about 25 properties. We have about 10 miles of trails, but the town of East Haddam itself has about 5,000 acres of open space because it's the Land Trust, the state of Connecticut, the Nature Conservancy, and the town of East Haddam. So we've got this wonderful open space ethic. So we raise money privately, and we get grants from various organizations to purchase land, to save it for you and your wife, and for me and my wife and my kids, so we can use it and recreate on it in perpetuity. Most probably the folks listening to this and watching this, you guys have a land trust in your area. And I encourage you to get involved, go on their websites, check out their events. East Haddam Land Trust, we will have 2 hikes per month in the winter, spring, and in the fall, and then in the summer we transition to kayaking. And folks are always willing to go on our website and find out when our hikes are, because we like having
Nice.
folks
So
from
you
out of
have
town.
guided hikes as well.
We have guided
Very
hikes.
nice.
So coming up on February 8th, for example, we're having a guided hike with a fellow named Mark Starr, who is an author who's educated himself about the ceremonial stoneworks that exists in the woods here. And if you don't know anything about Native American stoneworks, we're going to have a facilitated hike on the 8th. That one's going to be curated. We're going to limit it to about 12 people because we can't have too many. But
And all this can be found on your
our
site.
website.
And there's like you have a calendar.
Yep,
that
we've got
would
a
list that
calendar,
kind
we've
of
got
stuff.
events.
Wonderful.
So, and we like it when people from out of town come and hike with us, because we always enjoy
Absolutely.
meeting new folks. So,
All right. So I think just to wrap this up, August 25th, 6 you said? to
6
start?
o'clock,
6
yep.
o'clock start. It's going to be, I mean, that's, summer's winding down. It's nice and cool.
Yep.
Very nice.
Bring your appetite, because we've got the
Barbecue, music, the river.
your own picnic, beverages. So it's all good, and you're all welcome.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming down, my friend.
Thank you very much, and we'll get you there on the 25th,
Look forward to this August.
this August. Perfect.